Morning, my dear friends. Let me introduce to you. This is P. Krishnamurthy, working as a lecturer in English at the Government Degree College for Women, WANAPARTHY. So I sincerely and very passionately invite you to this video class. And today we are going to talk very elaborately on film review. You know pretty well, film reviews, they are very important, especially in AP and Telangana. As a matter of fact, large number of films are produced in India. So today we are going to talk on film review. What exactly does it mean? What is the importance of film review? What is called film review? Is it needed to know about film? What is involved in film review? Is it going to be such important thing that we need to know about it? And when you think about film review, definitely you are going to have answers for all these questions. So you know very well, India is a country where the highest number of films are released every year. Of course, how many of the films are just contesting for Oscar awards. So let's not talk about that one. But so hundreds and hundreds of the movies is every year are produced. And do you know one thing? Film is a separate industry, like iron and steel company, like cotton industry, like software industry in our nation. So film industry is a big industry where lakhs of the people depend on that one. In fact, it provides a lot of amusement, a lot of recreation to ordinary people. And so in this scenario, let us know about film reviewing. What do you understand by film review? Film review is an art of presentation, critically and artistically. We all think that it's nothing, it has no meaning at all. How we can do that film review? It doesn't require so much of energy, it doesn't require so much knowledge. Some people, they may say like that. It's not like that. It's a very complicated one, related to critical thinking, related to creative thinking, related to artistic thinking. So film review is not an ordinary job that all people can do it. Only professionals, experts, people who have got a panoramic view on film industry, people who have got thorough understanding of films, they can review any film. So film reviewing is an art of presentation, critically and artistically. Film reviewing is not a routine process. It is not just a routine process. As long as you are away from that field, you may say that I can also write my review on that one. Anyone can do his own and her own review after the release of the movie. But you can give your idea, your opinion, your review, so in single word or maybe in single sentence. But can you write in a paragraph? Can you write in the form of an essay? And this is really very demanding thing. This is really very complicated thing. This is not a routine process that everyone has to understand it. It requires a lot of creativity. It requires a lot of attention. It requires a lot of critical thinking. So it is not as easy as most of the members in the society think about it. Film reviewing requires knowledge, understanding, capacity. Film reviewing so requires knowledge. You must have thorough knowledge on all the films. Film, you can't find only social movies. Sometimes you find crime movies. Sometimes you find fantasy movies. Sometimes you find movies about melodrama. Sometimes you see patriotic movies. Sometimes you find historic movies. Sometimes you find very biographic movies, biopictures you find. So like you require a lot of knowledge also. You need to have understanding power. Anyone who watches a movie cannot decide whether it's a good movie or not. But some people are there in the society, some elite people, people who have got good knowledge about movies and films. So those who have understanding power and those who have got that capacity, so they can so provide that reviews. So as such, it's very easy to talk about that one film review. It's an ordinary process. It's not like that. It demands a lot of creativity, it demands a lot of knowledge, it demands a lot of understanding. Really, you need to have that capacity to present your review after watching a film. So that's the reason. Whether it may not be exaggerating if I mention that one. The success of a film depends on its review sometimes. Sometimes, so the success of a movie, the success of a film depends on its review. So people go to cinema theaters only after reading the reviews in the newspaper and the magazines. Then they estimate, yeah, this appears to be a good movie. This is going to be a very interesting movie. This is proved that so and so person has given his review, her review, that it's a very good movie. It has to be watched. Like that, after reading, so the reviews in the newspapers or cinema magazines, then some people, they decide they go to movie and watch the movies in the cinema theaters. So in such a way, in India or maybe in any part of the world also, so film review is not a routine process of writing, routine process of presenting the ideas. It requires a lot of things, and that's why I say that sometimes the success of any movie, the success of any film depends on its review. It looks very so exaggerating, but sometimes it's true also. So it's true that intelligent people who have got so lot of knowledge about the movies, they decide to go to cinema theater only after so reading the reviews, after listening to the reviews, they just go to movies and watch that one. As such is the importance of film review, and we'll know more about that one. And as I have been talking to you about film review, and what is the need of that one? What is the need of that one? What exactly do we find? Do you find film review will be in 10 pages, 20 pages, 30 pages? No, it's not like that. A film review is a short critical assessment of a film. It's a short critical assessment. Film review is going to assess 3 hours movie, is going to assess 2 hours movie. It's a critical assessment, a short critical assessment. So after watching movie, maybe twice, thrice, that review writer, he presents his assessment on movie, on that film, critically in short manner. We are living in a society, in a competitive society. We are living in a world of competition. We are living in the world of world where time matters more and more. Time is precious. That's why people do not have so much of time to read leisurely and just enjoy like that. So because in that scheduled time, maybe one person is ready to read the film review. Just if it is for 5 minutes, I can read and just arrive to the decision whether I should watch that movie or not. The review, so it is a film review, is a short critical assessment of film. It gives readers a quick idea about the film. Suppose you want to go to movie and you are confused and you are perplexed and you have a dynamic mind. So you just think that whether I should go there and whether I should watch it or not, like that you may be in dilemma of going to movie and watching that movie. Suddenly when you read any film review given in newspaper, it gives readers a quick idea about the film. So once they read that idea, they go with that mind. Yes, this is a movie on national movement. It's a movie on patriotic fervor. It's a movie on history. It's a movie about a hero. It's a movie about a soldier. It's a movie about that soldiers doing service to the or sacrifice for the sake of the nation. So when we go with preoccupied mind, you better understand the movie. And that's the thing. That's why it gives readers quick idea about the film. It conveys the reviews. It conveys the reviewer's opinion on the film. So when you read that review, you understand how that reviewer thinks about the movie. When you read that review, you understand the reviewer's opinion on that movie. And it helps the readers to make up their minds. As I told you already, the film review so makes up the mind of the uh, persons, whoever wish to go to the cinema theater and watch the movie. So it helps the readers to make up their minds. So it prepares your minds. Come on, this is very interesting movie. Suppose when you find a tagline, when you find very interesting line about a movie in a newspaper or in a magazine, it's an interesting movie. It is a watchable movie. Suddenly when you see this kind of sentence, immediately you feel of watching it. You feel of going to cinema theater and watching that one. So this is the way how this film review creates an idea in the minds of the people to go and watch that movie. And sometimes when you miss that movie and you just to miss a lot of things. Just like in movie like as I have seen in Telugu, Shankar, the director Shankar, a movie was taken Aparichitu. When you don't read any review, so some years ago, so it was released and it became blockbuster movie. So in the very beginning, I didn't see that movie because at that time that hero was not popular hero, and I was just waiting for the review of somebody else. So wonder what happened when I was reading newspaper. In that newspaper, a review was given, an elaborate review was given about that movie Aparichitu. Yeah, it's a movie that can be watched by everyone who lives in India. It's a movie against corruption. It's a movie against irregularities. It's a movie against wrong way of thinking. It's a movie against polluted minds. When I read that review in the newspaper, I decided to watch that movie. So I went to cinema theater. I really enjoyed myself watching that movie. In the same way, when I happened to see a movie called Bharatidu, before watching that one, I read a film review about that movie Bharatidu in Telugu. So it was given, it's a movie against corruption. It's a movie against bribery. So like that, it's a movie about a national movement, how people achieved freedom. What kind of bent of mind was there in them before getting freedom? So that was the scenario so that we have to understand. So film review creates an opinion in the minds of the viewers, in the minds of the readers, that you have to watch the movie. It allows you to enjoy, to develop your way of thinking, to watch how things are going on. And there's a very important one, important task also. Next, so important general elements of film review. What elements are they? Now we are going to talk about what are the general elements that we find? What are the general features? What are the general components that we find in film review? There are no standard formula for writing film reviews. As such, no method is there to present film review. There is no formula, there is no principle, there is no any equation that a film review has to be written like this. There is no any standard formula. It has to be written like this only. It has to be given like this only. You have to follow this kind of the. There is no such, but certain procedure has to be followed. But there are certain important elements of well-known review. As such, there is no standard formula, but we need to maintain certain standards, certain elements. Whenever you take up a job of writing film review, you have to understand that one. So reviews should follow fact first and interpretation last. This is the principle. Whoever is the film reviewer, he has to keep in the mind. So he has to think, or she has to think that fact has to be presented first, and explanation, interpretation has to be done so later, last. fact is to be projected. When Bharati movie was released, so in a film review, it was a movie against corruption, a movie against bribery, a movie on national movement, a movie on how people had that character before independence. Like that, fact has to be disclosed in the very beginning in any film review. And later on, you can interpret whatever you felt, whatever you feel, you can interpret that one. So, second one, reviews should inform. What do you, so what do we expect from reviews? Reviews have to inform. They should inform what is it. They should inform what is and what is not. What is good and what is not good. So what is there in this movie? So film reviews are going to be guides for us. Film reviews are going should inform us what is there in this movie. Review should describe. Film reviews should describe. They have to inform. They have to describe, and they should analyze. They should analyze each and every scene, each and every plot, each and every technical aspect of the movie. So the film reviewer has to keep everything in the mind. Whenever he interprets any review about a film, he should inform, he should describe, he should analyze, and review should evaluate the movies or films in that order. You should always keep in the mind. It's not an easy job. A film reviewer should always possess that critical and creative interpreting mentality. So you should inform, you should describe, you should analyze, and should evaluate the movie. That is the way. So while evaluating that one, you should not forget the facts should be mentioned first. You have to mention the facts, then you can go for the second area of interpretation. That is going to be done last. When you miss the fact, when you interpret only about the movie, and I think that's not going to be a good review. That's why fact is first and interpretation is the last. That's the way. Next, coming to uses of film review. What are the uses of film review? Very specifically, very precisely, very focused, in a focused manner, in a projecting way, we can ask, what are the benefits, what are the uses, what are the advantages of film review? Film review writing is a useful exercise. Do you know or not? It is a useful exercise. It perfects several skills such as once you cultivate of writing review on any film, it develops, it perfects several skills. It harms several skills such as reading and watching skills. So when you happen to be a film reviewer, you need to develop and you ought to have the reading and watching skills are going to be improved, because the way how you look at the thing, the way how you read anything, the way how you watch skills, watch movie, your way of watching the movie is quite critical. It is not so as that is confined by any ordinary one. You have different way of watching movie. A common viewer does not do this one. He will just come into cinema theater, he watches the movie and he enjoys. If it is boring, I think he feels that it's a boring movie and it goes off. But whereas a review writer is not like that. A film review writer, so always, so he watches the movie with a different aspect, with a critical aspect. That's the reason. So sooner or later, and what are the advantages that you gain from writing film reviews? You will develop watching skills. You will develop comprehension skills, because the movie is all about some 2 hours and 2.5 hours. So after watching movie, you develop understanding skills, comprehension skills. So understanding skills that you develop in due course of time. Analytical skills. You are not going to limit your skills with only watching skills and comprehension skills. You are going to extend your way of understanding analytical skills. So it requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of mental ability also. So you have to, you watch it, understand it, and you have to analyze which is good and which is not good. Whether direction is done very well, whether screenplay is done very well, whether the story is projected nicely, whether the beginning is okay, whether the ending is okay, so how the songs are suitable, whether it has got situational songs, whether the songs are created artificially, so whether the actors so do justice for their portions, all these analytical skills that you improve. And moreover, you develop communicative skills also. So when you present your review on any released movie, so naturally, so newspaper, print media, so people, or maybe electronic media people, they come and question you. So, sir, you have presented your view on this film, and what is your opinion? How do you analyze like that? How do you say about this one? You say that the ending is bad. You say that so beginning is very good. You say that the role played by that villain is not up to the mark. So you just presented like this. What is your view? So after having understanding about that film, after having thorough watching of the movie, after having that analytical skill in you, so you develop communicative skills. You explain, yeah. So whatever the review that was written by me, it's absolutely correct. So when you think a particular scene, it is not the scene that is to be there, but here the director has done a wrong step, and really it is not supposed to be like that. It should be like this only. It should have been like this. You can just do. So while explaining that one, you need a lot of communicative skills. If you happen to be film review writer, naturally what happens, you develop that communicative skills. This is the advantage. So when you become a review writer, or the last one, critical thinking. Critical thinking skills also you gain. Critical thinking skills. You develop critical thinking about each and every item. Whatever you watch, you watch critically. That's called you watch with that perspective of mind. You watch anything with a critical mind, just like a critic, and that always provides you a lot of knowledge. So these are the uses when you happen to be a review writer of any film. So this is the way, in one way that we get. So now let us think about general. They are called general so elements of film reviews, and general. So what are uses of that film review? Now basic elements of film reviews. What are the basic elements? When you want to write, when you want to prove that you are a good review writer of a film, when you want to establish that you are going to be a film reviewer, what are the things that you need to have? You cannot just give your view so absurdly, because people may question, director may question, or maybe actor may make a phone call, the producer make a phone call, or maybe any choreographer makes a phone call to you and asks a question, sir, you wrote like this about this movie, and is it the way that you have to present? Whatever we have presented, you have said in a negative way. This is not the way. What did you understand about our plot? What did you understand about our character? What is your? Do you understand our narration? Do you have any idea about music? Like that, people may question if you present wrong film review. That's the reason every film reviewer should have fundamental basic knowledge about film reviews. So here basic elements of film reviews that I am going to talk to you. In order to write a film review, we should make ourselves familiar with some basic elements of film, such as plot. When you want to write something about a movie, you should have basic knowledge about that movies, basic knowledge about the stories, basic knowledge about that movies. Suppose I just give one example. When you want to give your review on any completed cricket match, at least you need to know what is the cricket ball, what is the cricket bat. So what is the length between in between the crease. So who is the fielder? Who is the bowler? Where is the leg umpire will be standing, and where is the main umpire standing? So how many balls are there in a wawa? So like that, you need to have the technical knowledge about that one. Unless until you possess that kind of technical knowledge, you cannot be a commentator. You cannot be a review writer about cricket match. So you need to have, so how many balls are there in a over? If the ball crosses that boundary line, so how many runs that the team gets, how many runs that the batsman gets. At least you need to have that one. When the batsman hits the ball over the boundary, generally, so he is going to get 6 runs only. If the cricket game reviewer, if he says that he will get only 1 run, I think it's very absurd. And it proves that. So that cricket review writer doesn't have any understanding about that one. In the same way, I would like to say to you, when you want to prove that you are going to be the best film review writer, you must have basic elements of film reviews. You must know certain fundamental qualities, fundamental elements about film. So they are plot. You need to know what do you understand by plot, what do you understand by subplot, what do you understand by characters, what do you understand by narration. You should have thorough understanding about plot, subplot, characters, narration, direction, screenplay, music, lyrics, choreography, and so on. In making a movie, so you have to have lot of information. Different branches are coming together and making a film. There is a movie recently. A movie came, so which was made by Rajamouli in Telugu. It was called. Is a movie by name Bahubali. There, so the hundreds and thousands of people they got involved in that movie, and nearly 2200 branches are there. So maybe in plot, in creating a plot, there will be some 10 branches are there to make the plot integrated. There may be some other subplot branch is there, and there may be some 5 to 6 branches are there to see that the integrity of that subplot and characters. When the director wants to create, when the director wants to introduce the characters, so he all alone he doesn't think. He takes the help of some other assistant. He takes the help of some other people. So like that, in a film industry, in film making, so many branches are there. But the film reviewer should have clear outlook about all the branches that are included in film making. Then only he will have right to comment on that one. He will have sound knowledge to comment on that one. You cannot just comment on a film that is not interesting. So if he makes this kind of very absurd and very dangerous and very awkward comment on that one, definitely he will be taken to task by the director, producer, and sometimes he may be even uh, a case may be filed against this film review writer also. That's the reason. If you want to prove that you are a good film review writer, you should have clear understanding about plot, subplot, characters, narration, direction, screenplay, music, lyrics, choreography, and so on. So you should have fundamental knowledge about genre of film. The genre of film. What kind of genre that is applied here? What kind of genre? Whether the director had chosen the genre of comedy, whether the director had chosen the genre of tragedy, whether the director had chosen the genre of horror. So we have Hitchcock movies. So in Hitchcock movies, we expect horror. You don't find any romance, you don't find any comedy, you don't find any fantasy, you don't find any melodrama. When you happen to watch the movies of Hitchcock, you feel that it's a horror movie. So whatever the review that comes on Hitchcock movie, definitely it's all about horror. How the horror is created in the movie, how the horror is really so really interesting, and it looks very domestic like that. So like that, reviews will be done. So you need to have certain understanding about thorough understanding about the genre of the film, melodrama, fantasy, and so on. Like that, different genres are there. One director selects one type of genre, the other director selects one kind of genre and makes a movie on that, and he tries to impress upon all the members. He tries to project to the society that he is going to present very good movie based on this genre. And these are the areas. So, my dear friends, so writing process. So after having thorough understanding about the plot, subplot, so direction, screenplay, choreography, and genre, so what is involved in writing process of a review, writing process of film review. So when you begin to write a film review, what is involved in that one? How many steps are involved in that review writing? You have to go with the planning only. You cannot present your review without any planning. What steps are involved in presenting a film review? So when you think like that, so there are 5 steps. There are 5 steps in review writing. There are five to 5 to 6 steps, I think. So 5 steps are included. 5 steps are included. So writing process. So of film review, the writing process of a film review involves 5 steps. First step: understand the genre of the film. You watch the movie, you begin to write your review on film. First step: any film reviewer has to understand the genre of the film first, and he has to check whether he has knowledge of features related to the story and genre. So whenever you begin to write a review on any film, the film reviewer has to keep in the mind the first step that he has to apply. So as a writing process, what is the first step? The first step has got two elements. So whether he understands the genre of the film or not, whether the film reviewer has got knowledge about the features related to the story and genre. So he has to check himself whether he possesses knowledge about that story, whether he has got knowledge about that genre selected by the director. Suppose in fantasy film, so it's fun to find out any reality. When the director has selected a fantasy to deal his subject through that movie, it's all about fantasy. The review writer should not search for any reality. You can't find reality in fantasy movie. When you understand it's a movie on fantasy, naturally you don't search for reality. When you don't understand the genre and the story related to that movie, and you get confused, and you always look for the reality, and naturally your review is not going to be mattered. It's not going to be important. It's not going to be evaluated as the best review writing. That's the reason. So whenever you want to write any review on a film, the first fundamental process that you have to think, the first step is you have to understand whether you have understanding knowledge about that genre of the film, whether you have knowledge about the features related to the story and genre. Suppose in a fantasy story, don't think about any reality. You don't find any reality. It's just for time pass. It's just for enjoyment. It's just for imagination. That's all. Imagination is there, and in imagination, it's foolish to think about reality. In melodrama film, don't think about any fantasy. In melodrama movies, don't think about any fantasy. There you find only sentiments are seen. In any movie done on melodrama, so you don't find any fantasy there. You find only reality. So sentiments are there. That's all. So the review writer should have thorough understanding about the film review. The first step is the very first step. One has to understand the genre that is selected by the director. Whether this review writer has got that knowledge about the story. So accordingly, he has to proceed. The second step in film review writing for a film reviewer, understand the purpose of the review. First of all, understand you are writing a review on a film. You understand first, why are you writing? Why are you writing? So your writing should be accurate estimation of the film, its nature, quality, and suitability. So whatever you write, when you select to write a review on a film, you need to be very, very accurate in its nature, quality, and suitability. So accuracy must be there. You should strike the balance between information and interpretation. You have to examine whether the balance is done between information and interpretation. So you watch the movie and you are so writing film review, and you try to find out this in the second step whether you maintain balance between information and interpretation. When that balance is done, okay, you are going to be proved as a good film review writer. So third step, understand the structure of the film review. You try to understand the structure of the film review. Proper well-defined structure is to be followed by the review writer while writing film review. You understand the structure. So whether you have that structure in your mind or not. So whether you have that structure in your mind. So what structure is there? How many points are there? So how many points that I have to strike? How many points that I have to deal with? So when you have that kind of structure in the mind, you can present your review very well. So now coming to the fourth process, understand the target reader. Always your target is your reader. You are writing the review not for somebody else. You are writing review not for the director, not for the producer, not for the actor, not for the hero, not for any comedian. So you are writing review for the reader only. So your target should always be reader. So when you think from the perspective way of reader, naturally your review is going to be applauded like in appropriate interpretation with suitable vocabulary. When you explain your review, so suitable vocabulary has to be chosen. You can't just write whatever you think in your mind. So when you are writing about any sentimental movie, when you are writing about a movie on national movement, when you are writing a movie on any horror, you try to select that to technical vocabulary. You make use of the technical vocabulary and present in your review, and that is going to be very, very perfect review. Now coming to the fifth step, understand or customize our review writing according to the medium. Yeah, that you have to understand. You try to understand and customize your review, selecting print media, newspaper, magazine, or electronic media. So you understand, you customize your review writing, whether you are writing a review for print media, whether you are writing a review for the newspaper or for cinema magazine or to any electronic media. So first of all, you customize that one. When you keep in your mind, yes, I'm going to give a report, I'm going to give my review on this movie to the print media. So again in print media, whether you are writing for a daily newspaper, so your review is going to be printed in daily newspaper. So naturally, you think that you keep that idea in your mind. Yeah, uh, tomorrow, tomorrow newspaper, I am going to find, and people are going to see my review in the newspaper. So it requires that kind of better mind only. So are you going to present that review in magazine? Are you going to present that review to the electronic media? So selecting print or electronic media accordingly, you have to plan and write and present, and that is the way. Next, coming to structure of the film review. Here, I would like to say, these are all the 5 steps are mentioned. So before presenting, while presenting. So before presenting your review, film review, you must have 5 steps in your mind. You must have basic elements about that genre and the plot also. You must have knowledge and understanding and about film also. All those things are included. Now, while you are writing film review, how is the structure of the film review? So first one, title. How the title is to be of the film review. The title or the heading, it should be short and catchy. When you write, when you present your review about a movie, the title should be very short and catchy. It should suggest the reviewer's view. The moment the reader reads the title, oh, this is going to be very interesting. When the viewer reads that title, immediately he has to feel or she has to feel that, oh, this is going to be very, very interesting. So you have to select catchy words, and that title should be very short. For example, Tiger Roars Again. You see, example, the title of the movie, Tiger Roars Again. Tiger Roars Again. It creates some tilting sensation. Tiger roars again. Why? Has Tiger remained silent? Has Tiger remained silent? Why this review writer says tiger roars again? Has it remained silent all these days? So the title itself is catchy, and the new reader, review reader, immediately it grabs the attention of the reader, and he begins to write or she begins to write. Now coming to the second structure. In the structure, we have second item. That's called subtitle or subheading. There is title. It should be short and catchy. The subtitle, how it is to be. Subtitle highlight the interesting point of the film. So subtitle, main title is there of the movie, subtitle. So main title of your review. So you are going to give one main title for your review, and again in the bracket. So you are going to supply that subtitle for the review also. The subtitle highlights the interesting point of the film. It should be written below the title. Remember, the subtitle that you are going to present, it should be written below. It should be written below the main title. For example, like this: Tiger roars again. Tiger roars again. It is the main title, and in the bracket, the subtitle is written: Watchable family drama. Watchable family drama. You see this one? Title: Tiger roars again. What is the subtitle here for your film review? Watchable family drama. So it creates suspense in the minds of the readers. It creates interest in the minds of the readers. Oh, this review happens to be very interesting. Come on, let me read this review. I think this review happens to be very, very interesting. You see the title, you see this subtitle. They happen to be very interesting. Come on, he begins to read that one and he enjoys that one. In that way, you are going to be proved as the best film review writer. So next one, third one, introduction. So title is over for your review, subtitle is over for your review, and introduction. How do you begin that? So review. The first paragraph is the lead paragraph. In the very first paragraph that you have to mention, what is your perspective way of understanding of the movie? What is your evaluation of the movie? The very first paragraph that you have to so make it very clear to that reader that about that movie. In a very this is called lead paragraph. The first paragraph is the lead paragraph. It gives the reader overview of the film. The very first line or in the very first paragraph that you create, and you just give your evaluation that movie is interesting or movie is boring or it's a watchable movie, like that. The first paragraph is going to be devoted to give the overview of the film, to give the idea of the review writers of the movie. Next one, analysis. The second paragraph or maybe the later paragraphs. So second and other paragraphs evaluate the film in detail. You cannot wind up just by writing first paragraph. So, but the reader requires some more information. You have to produce the evidence for your opinion about that movie. The second and other paragraphs evaluate the film in detail, and detailed assessment is seen with the supporting examples like melodious song, poignant scene. So you just second paragraph, third paragraph, maybe fourth paragraph you write, you support your review which is done in the first paragraph. You try to explain with analytical analysis and with ideas like with examples like melodious song. Yeah, this movie has melodious songs. This movie has got beautiful melodious music. It has got a poignant scene also. So when a scene has been inserted in this movie, it is really poignant, and people get tears when they happen to see this kind of scene like that. So you can support to the view that is given in the first paragraph. And coming to the conclusion of your film review, it consists of two parts. In conclusion, you have to mention two parts. What are they? Summary of the reviewer's assessment. What is your assessment about the movie? Finally, so conclusion consists of two parts. So the first two parts. The first part is about the reviewer's assessment. What is your final assessment? What is your final opinion in the conclusion paragraph? Again, so what is your advisory part? What is your advisory part? What is your conclusion? What is your advisory part? For example, like a must-watch movie. A must-watch movie. So, Tiger roars again. Tiger roars again. As you said, Tiger roars again. A must-watch movie. A watchable movie. Ignore it. If it's not interesting, you just say that ignore. Like it. So, in the conclusion, you see, so you are going to give your final assessment and you are going to advise to the reader. So what kind of movie, what is the advice given by you about this movie? So examples are a must watch, watchable. If it is not interesting, say, so ignoring one. So I'm going to present to you sample film review. Sample film review about Pelli Chupu. Here is a Telugu movie, Pelli Chupu. So sample film review. How does it look like? So this is the way how a film review writer has to present. You see this one, title review. So first one, the writer has to give the title for the review, for the film review. The film review title. What is the title that the writer is going to give for the movie called Pelli Chupu, a gem of film? You see the title of the film review. So chosen or just given by that film reviewer for the movie called Pelli Chupu, gem of film. Subtitle. What kind of subtitle is chosen by that film reviewer for the movie called Pelli Chupu? Make you laugh and well up in tears. This is called subtitle. Make you laugh and well up in tears. Title for the film review for the movie Pelli Chupu. So the film writer, film reviewer has given title a gem of film. Subtitle what is given by that film reviewer? Make you laugh and well up in tears. Introduction. So how did he begin to write? What is mentioned in the first paragraph? The introduction. It is an effortless, cool film. It is an effortless, cool film. It unfolds on screen of real life. So he has given his opinion in the very first paragraph. It is an effortless, cool film about Pelli Chupu. It unfolds on screen of real life. Again, outline of the plot. Outline of plot. So that's called description of his film review. Tight in presentation and interesting to watch. Tight in presentation. So the film reviewer of the Pelli Chupu, in outline of the plot, he has just presented like that. Tight in presentation and interesting to watch. Coming to analysis. Family drama with a narrative hook. What is his analysis? Family drama with a narrative hook. Situations aptly planned. Situations aptly planned. Now, conclusion. In the conclusion part, what is going to be there? So, final assessment about the film Pelli Chupu, so of the film reviewer. What is the final assessment of the film reviewer about the movie? What is the final assessment given by so this film reviewer about this movie called Pelli Chupu? It is fantastic. It's called conclusion. It's fantastic. And advisory part. What advisory part is given here? Don't miss it. Don't miss it. This is sample review for your understanding. If you happen to be film reviewer in future, these are the items that you have to keep in your mind. How many steps are to be followed? What is the structure of film review? What are the basic elements that you are supposed to have? What are the general elements that you need to have? So unless until you possess all these ideas and elements, components, structure in your mind, you cannot be so called the best film review writer. So we'll go to the next one. Now coming to the conclusion. And today we are so happy that we know very much about that film review. And this is also a career for any person. A person who has got critical thinking, a person who has got creative thinking, a person who has got comprehension skill, a person who has got good communication skills. This is going to be a career creation job. You can be a professional in this film review writing. You can be like that. And this is going to create a world for you. You can be a celebrated film reviewer in the film industry also. That's why film, in the conclusion part, film review is an intelligent assessment of film. It is not a usual way of assessment. It is an intelligent assessment of film. It allows viewers to have pre-idea on the film. So what is the benefit? What is the advantage for the viewers? So the film review provides pre-idea about the film. And today we have known about the general and basic elements of the film review, and we have known about the process involved in film review. How many steps, why steps are involved in film review? Known about the structure of film review. We know the structure about that one. That's called title, subtitle, outline, analysis, like that, final assessment, and maybe advisory part. Known about the sample film review. For your kind information, for your better understanding, I have also presented to you how so a film review is to be written. And I have shown you that sample film review about a movie called Peluchupul. And with that, I really feel very happy of explaining the film review, how a film review has to be done. And I just appeal to you, film review is also a challenging career for young graduates, for young postgraduates who possess so communicative skills, critical skills, analytical skills, and so understanding skills, knowledge and comprehension skills, watchable skills. You can create wonder. So you can create a wonderful life in that arena also. So all the best to you, and thank you very much for being with me for understanding, comprehending, and making our minds to be the best film reviewers in future about the films. Thank you very much once again. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much about this one.